This is where I left the painting at the end of our session, and now I'm going to continue to develop the subject. There's quite a lot more to do. Obviously the interior of the box and the form of these fruits is only just suggested at the moment. These two apples in the foreground are almost complete. I'm going to develop some of these cast shadows because they're interesting, and before they change and become something else, I think it would be good to get them in. So I'm going to start to put in a colour. It's a sort of bluey grey. It's almost purple actually as it gets up to the shape. It just adds a note of interest into the painting, which it otherwise wouldn't have. I always think these shadows are rather magical. They're not always there, and they suddenly appear when you see something else. Probably could do with being a little bit warmer, could do with being a little bit more purpley. So I might just drop a little bit of pink into that blue, a bit more mauve. And then while it's still wet, I can just drop that colour in. Just making it more of a mauve and less blue. Do a little drop more down the bottom. When it's wet like this, you just have to be gentle with it, not try and push it around too much. All right. Similarly around here, I think the shadow could be a little bit stronger. It will all dry lighter. That's the other thing with watercolour. It always dries lighter than you think it's going to do. So I'm just going to drop a little bit in here as well. Just going up onto the edge of the box. And I think that the shadow here is pretty much the same. I'm just going to dampen the paper because I think it would allow the colour to drop in better. So I'm just putting, I wet my brush and then just dampen this area. It's still a bit not entirely clean. It's still got some of that colour that I put in the cast shadow, but that's fine because I'm going to add the small in a minute. Yeah, just make it a little bit stronger than I have. Now, having my board up at an angle is meaning that the colour is running down, so I'm going to just have the board slightly flatter for now while it dries. Just about see it. Okay. I think this shadow could go a bit darker, so I'm going to give it another wash of the same colour. And then these shadows I'm going to wash over with the same colour again, but I'm going to make them lighter. And this one as well. And this shadow here, I think also could be a little bit darker than I've actually got it. Seems to be sort of more greeny than too yellow. That's better. More green than purple at this point. Put a touch of yellow into this one as well. Just see what that looks like when it's dry. I have a feeling that one could get greener as well. Yeah, that's better. I may put more blue on it again later. I'll just see what it looks like when I get the rest of the subject actually painted in. I have a feeling that these shadows could be a little bit softer. So I'm going to take my sponge and just gently wash some of it off, which you can do, but you have to do it carefully. Looks better, it's more convincing like that. I'm now going to continue up here with the box. Maybe get some more of the box in, and then I will develop these apples last. So again, I think it would be wise to dampen this so that I can drop the colour in and fuse two colours together like I've done down here. So I put blue with the brown. It's not just a flat brown filled in. It's, you know, it actually is a couple of colours. And it, again, It just gives a note of interest to the subject. So I'm doing the light, working from light to dark. Looking at it sideways on, it's very shiny at the moment, this area. So again, I'm going to take a little bit of the wetness off. It's still damp, but not as wet as it was. And then I will drop the colour in. Again, I'm not filling it all in, I'm just doing a suggestion of the colour, like that. And then I will do what I did here, which was to run a bit of the purpley blue into it. So it allows the colour to fuse. The two colours are fusing together nicely. And then I should drop some more of that beige over the top. Again, you have to be very careful when it's this wet, not to drag the paint around, but to literally just drop it in. So it goes into where it's wet, but they probably do. And now I've got to do this inside edge here, which is much darker. So again, I'm going to dampen it. Now this is where I would be careful, because this is wet and this is wet, and I don't want the colour all running into each other. So I'm just going to leave it for a minute to dry off and work on some other area. I think actually this could go a bit darker around the back of the apple. I don't think it's got enough colour on it, so I'm going to work on water into that area. Take it along a bit, I won't take it the whole way, and then I'm going to add in some colour. Sort of texture on the thing, which may not hurt to actually bring out a bit. And similarly, I might put some bluey grey into there as well.